just finished the first part of the Proton X70 drive. We are in the premium model here you see behind me. It is comfortable. I was sitting in the back seat and it's comfortable. It rides very well even on these larger 19-inch wheels. So it has that nice premium European ride to it. In corners, as a passenger, you will know that there is some body roll to it, so it's not tuned for all-out performance in some ways. But this is my first impression, as I've been in the back seat. So backseat drivers don't count. I've talked about the ride of the car, sitting in the rear seats. Now we're checking out the interior quality of this X70 Premium. So at 1.2, how much is it, Sim? Sim from iGarage.
123,888. 123,800.
123,800. You get nice tactile feeling materials, nice leather steering wheel. We have that soft touch materials. Of course, this is fake stitching on soft plastic, soft, nice aluminium brush, aluminium finish. Decent gear knob. The switch gear seems to be tactile enough. It feels like it's a quality product, and I must say there's no complaints there. You get a fully animated digital readout thingy, and then you have that hi Google thingy. Navigation is on now. It's going to point us to Gunung Raya. Aircon switch gear. Everything seems to be nice and legible and all. Everything is clear. I don't see small fonts that you can't read. Even if you are slightly older person, it should be clear enough for you to read. Everything's quite legible here. Materials are good again. Build quality seems to be good. For a car that's under 130,000, it's very well equipped, because there's also this panoramic sunroof thingy.
And the Napa leather seat.
Yes, Napa leather seats. So your behind and your back will be in fabulous condition. Okay, you're watching me now. In the future, a few days after the media drive of the Proton X70, I have actually had time to wash this shirt, gather some more thoughts about the car, and it'll be a wrap up to what you've been seeing in the video, and I will also be telling a lot of stuff here. So now, before we continue with the review on the interior, I have to say that while I was impressed at first, I still am impressed, but I think that the brushed aluminium, fake aluminium finish, which is actually plastic, needs to be a little bit better finished. The brushed aluminium is a bit too, it doesn't look too nice, but that's about it. I mean, it's all cosmetic, and you know that this car is a car that's priced from 100,000 to 130,000, so there is a mix of plastics, which you can see from the soft touch plastics you see on top, to a bit of cheaper looking stuff right at the bottom where you don't really see and feel. But first impressions, it does help the car, make the car look nice. It's just when you start doing that knuckle wrap test and start feeling, and then you take a while to look at it, and then you will notice that there are bits of plastic where you know that, yep, it belongs in the car in the 100,000 ringgit price segment or slightly lower. But other than that, it's fine, it's usable. Okay, so now I have my hands on the X70, and okay, now we're going to try out some stunts. No, I mean, we're going to try out all the basic functions, and like the lane departure warning and all, and I'm a bit slow, so I've got to catch up a bit. So far the car seems to be, yes, the lane departure warning has told me that I am too close to the left side. Now I'm try to go close to the front car and see whether there's any other warnings. Anyway, if there are so many warnings, yeah, it shows that I'm a very good driver, because it's warning me for everything that I'm doing perfectly wrong. So yeah, this car is full of a lot of active safety equipment. The driving position is very nice. Took me just 1 or 2 adjustments for me to get into a nice driving position. Very comfortable seats, and view out is nice. Steering is good, nice leather. Button seems to be okay. I don't have anything. My thumbs are not accidentally pressing anything. So if I were to just jump in this car after
1.0 kilometers at the end
anything,
of the road,
like say
left.
I need to have a quick exit, it is easy for me to just jump into this car and drive off straight away. Well equipped, and okay, in terms of ride as driver, the feel of the steering is pretty good. It's accurate. There's no slack here, there's no free play. Now the distance alert is on, so it works. The distance alert works. The distance alert works, but I kind of like this X70 in terms of how the steering feels. It's accurate, nicely weighted. I like the weighting. Signal is on the left. Yeah, and in terms of power, accelerating from a junction and all, the 1.8 liter direct injection engine, petrol direct injection engine works fine. Throttle response seems to be good. A bit on the, I think it's drive by wire, you can feel, because you can just flow it full, and then it'll take about a split second for it to actually adjust itself. The gear is smooth. It is very smooth. It doesn't have, it is a traditional automatic transmission, which means that it shifts seamlessly and smooth. Don't have any rubber band feel. There's nothing of all the CVT stuff. There's no that DSG creep or crawl. A traditional torque converter gearbox gives you the best refinement for most conditions and all. Even kick down. Okay, let's do kick down. It is adequately responsive enough for a drive in the countryside like this. But the car tends to understeer in corners a bit early. It plays a safe SUV game, I would say. It's set up to drive comfortably. It tells you that, oh, a corner is coming, let's take the corner. You are supposed to enter more steering input. Yes, I need more steering input. Or until you reach a certain point where your confidence level says that, oh, okay, it's a bit too much, you have to ease up on the accelerator and let the car turn in on the speed that it likes, basically. So in terms of comfort, yes. In terms of cornering or handling on that point, overall basic handling is very nice. The car handles very well, like a quite European in feel. But in terms of if you are pushing it around all these roads and all, if there's a fast sweeping corner and you're going at over the regular speeds, it warns you early. It tells you that yes, this is a corner. You have to work at it a bit more. So I've driven up Gunung Raya, which is one of the highest points that you can drive here in Langkawi. Grip is actually quite good on the 19-inch wheels. There is some body roll, but it actually lets you feel the road. Yeah, it dips. You know that it's in the corner. It works well. It seems to be very predictable, very safe if you drive reasonably fast in it. Even if you take it a bit over the limit, it does tend to be forgiving. In terms of power delivery, I would say that the 1.8 TGDi engine is adequate, ferrying 4 people up a nice windy hillside road. So it's adequate. It is not super powerful. It is an SUV. So even with a 1.8 liter turbocharged engine with over 200 and around 250 Newton meters of torque, it does need to work a bit harder when carrying 4 people on board. Aside from that, the engine is still smooth all the way to the red line. The gear shifts are good. It actually holds the gear down to second and third gear when you're climbing uphill. So gear shifts are actually sporty. It holds the gear well. The gearbox seems to be quite smart. The control unit is smart enough to actually know which gear it has to be on. Now in terms of the engine and the gearbox, it's a 1.8 liter direct injection turbocharged engine. It has about 180 over PS, 285 Newton meters of torque. It is one of the smoothest engines and gearbox combination you can buy at a price under 130,000 ringgit. This is something which you need to try if you're in the market for a car in this price range. The X70 actually offers you a lot of refinement in terms of NVH, in terms of powertrain and drivetrain noise. It's actually very refined. It's actually as refined as something 50,000 ringgit higher up in price. So it's good in terms of power delivery. I think there's some low speed hesitation in traffic situations, you know, when it's like in second gear between 15 to 30 kilometers per hour, there is some hesitation in terms of it moving off. I think it is also down to the fact that the X70 is a heavy car. It weighs 1,700 kilos or thereabouts, so it is a heavier car. It is closer in size to something in the 150,000 Honda CR-V segment, but it is also priced up to the Honda HR-V segment, so it sits right in the middle in terms of price and size, but it offers you more in terms of refinement and all. It is a very refined car. So yeah, because of its weight, it could do with another 50 Newton meters of torque that will make it move along much better for the driver to, if he wants a bit more sportier drive. But all in all, it's adequate. If you're just driving it normally, it is more than enough. Aside from that, I have no complaints on the active safety features given by Proton. The A.D.A.S system seems to work fine. If you checked out my other videos, which I will link it somewhere here, most likely right here in some stage, the active safety features are actually good enough. Some may be first generation active safety, like their autonomous emergency braking system, but it works. So in terms of the high proton, you know, the one where you can give the car voice commands, it's actually quite okay. It's good. It just works like any other Google or Google Android or iOS based systems where you can talk to the computer and it speaks back to you. It is based on Baidu in terms of navigation. It is also basically based on an Android system, which means that it is also using cloud. That means everything you say to it is actually from a server somewhere, and that server means that it needs a data connection for it to use the high proton function. So we found out that if you will enter an area where there is low reception, you might be having problems in getting navigation to work or getting the voice in the car to talk to you. So it does work in areas where there's a data connection. So, but overall, I must say that I'm very impressed with the Proton X70. This is the Proton and Geely's first collaboration. Proton actually helped out Geely in terms of redesigning, reskinning the car slightly with the bumpers, grille and all, and a bit of interior touches here and there. Proton also developed the right-hand drive conversion for this Geely model, which was the Boyue. The Geely Boyue was converted and it from left-hand drive to right-hand drive into the X70. So Proton's engineers actually did some engineering work on the X70, because you don't simply just, it's not simply like just moving the steering from left hand to the right hand drive cars. It's more than that. So overall, it's a bloody impressive car, this X70. As I said, there are some flaws, but as something priced from 100,000 to almost 130,000, this full spec one comes in at under 124,000, which is quite amazing. It's impressive. It's bloody impressive. I think as a start to the future of Proton, the X70 is very, very promising. So again, do subscribe to us. Thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up, comment. So till the next review, thank you very much.